Hey, it's the Empire, GeoBox Empire, Baxter Boxing. Now, man, wild stuff, man. There's been video released of Anthony Joshua sparring Joyce, and it's been buzzing, man. Nobody knows what's gonna happen right now with Anthony Joshua, former unified British superstar fighter, uh, going to seemingly fight an intern fight, for the heavyweight division. Right now, understand that Anthony Joshua lost to Alexander Usyk, man, and he lost his titles. But with Alexander Usyk fighting in this war, it seems like it might happen with Russia. Those titles are at a standstill, and anything can happen in sport of boxing. There can always be a title thrown in to whatever Anthony Joshua decides to fight next, because he was a former unified champion. And there's been sparring footage of Anthony Joshua sparring Joyce, man. Now, some people say this is old. I don't know, man. It looks pretty new to me, but that doesn't really matter. It's here nor there. The fact that it matters is it's released recently, hinting at Anthony Joshua versus Joyce fight, man. And this is a really big deal because Joyce is an undefeated fighter coming out the UK. He's one of those fighters that really has a deep resume for a fighter coming out of that region, right? Joyce beat the infamous undefeated fighter Daniel Dubois, one of the big dogs over there in the UK. Joyce beat Carlos Takam by knockout, right? Beat Brian Jennings, Alexander Usanov, right? Bermain Stavern, Ioge Kalatz, big guys, big hitters. Iago dropped F.A. Java when he was undefeated, right? I can go on and on down his resume, but he has a deep resume for a heavyweight fighter, period. A lot of people talk about how they want these fighters fighting the best, and then you got these fighters that do it. Little to no buzz coming from Joyce, man. The guy, he sticks to his fundamentals, right? He can be losing the whole fight, but he'll stay behind the jab, and ultimately, that's what got him that win with Daniel Dubois. I thought he was losing the whole fight against Daniel Dubois, but he was getting hit in the face, but he kept his jab pumping, and ultimately that's what stopped Daniel Dubois. Daniel Dubois took a knee middle of the fight because he was getting hit so much and so consistently with Joyce's jab, right? This is how elite Joyce is. And say what you want by how slow he looks, but understand that, there's an infamous saying from Mike Tyson, Black American legend. He says everyone has a plan until they get hit. Joyce had a plan. He got hit and he stuck to the plan, right? He stuck to the jab, stuck to the basics, the fundamentals. He didn't get wild. He didn't lose it all. He stuck to the basics, and that got him the win over Daniel Dubois. So that being said, man, Joyce has one of the better chins in heavyweight division, bar none. The guy has never been dropped. He's never been hurt. He's just, as his nickname says, he is the juggernaut. So, Anthony Joshua versus Joyce, man, I think that'd be a good fight. I think people are sleeping on that fight. I think Anthony Joshua has the power to hurt Joyce, but I don't know, man, with Joyce's chin, does Anthony Joshua believe in his power like he used to? There was an air of recklessness with Anthony Joshua when he was an undefeated fighter. Anthony Joshua believes if he hits you, he can take whatever you got coming, but his power will put you to sleep. Ever since the loss to Andy Ruiz, Anthony Joshua's been doubting himself. He's been boxing a lot more. Before, Anthony Joshua used to go all out. I still remember the Vladimir Klitschko fight like it was yesterday. How Anthony Joshua will try to finish you, and he'll go all out and empty the gas tank. Not so much anymore, man. Anthony Joshua is much more calculated now, much more conservative in his punches, much more economic. So that being said, Joyce, man, I don't know, man. It's a good fight. It's a good fight for him, for sure. It's wild stuff because Joyce definitely needs a title shot as deep as his resume is, right? Doesn't have many fights, but understand that, Anthony Joshua, he didn't have a slew of fights either before he started fighting for these titles. People forget that. Anthony Joshua was a big dog, but he was a big dog regionally, right? A lot of hype behind him, but at the time, he really wasn't proving yet, right? He didn't really fight anybody big. But what happened was they built him up, and when they thought he was ready, they threw him in there. Sometimes you gotta take chances with these fighters, right? Understand that Anthony Joshua, when he fought for a title, he was only 16-0, right? When he fought Charles Martin for the IBF title. Joyce is 13-0 right now. You know, he could possibly fight for the title. You know, I can see it coming down the cards easily, man. You understand that this would be the perfect time for him. You know, this is the fall of a legend and maybe the rise of a star. It could be. It could be. We just don't know. Joyce is a hard hitter. The guy does have 13 wins and 12 knockouts. And like I said earlier, I already went down the names. They're big hitters. Furthermore, you know, people don't talk about this, but Joyce fought Alexander Usyk in amateurs, and it was a pretty good fight. It was a competitive fight. It wasn't a mismatch. So a lot of people sleep on Joyce, but he already fought the best of the best. He probably fought guys you never heard of that are elite level fighters. Maybe their career just didn't go as planned. But Joyce, man, he needs to be talked about more, you know. So, you know, at this point in Joyce's career, the guy is older. He is 36 years old. The time is ticking for Joyce, so he can't really build his career like someone like Anthony Joshua did. He was younger when he got started. Joyce's time is ticking. 36 years old. There's no reason to build the guy anymore. He needs to go in the fire before he hits the wrong side of 30. So we're gonna see how this whole thing plays out. Anthony Joshua. I guarantee that Anthony Joshua will still be the overdog. Anthony Joshua is still a star, and he's been losing to elite level fighters. You know, understand that Alexander Usyk was the first undisputed cruiserweight champion in history. You know, so you know I had all 4 titles. So that being said, man, you know, if he's not the first undisputed cruiserweight champion, he's definitely the first out of Eastern Europe. But all that being said, yeah, man, this is gonna be a big fight. You know, Anthony Joshua loves fighting in the UK. You know, why not have a dancing partner? Dillian Whyte's tied up with Tyson Fury, and you know, Danny Dubois already lost to Joyce. So the next best thing is Joyce, the winner. You know, not the loser, the winner. So we're gonna see how this whole thing plays out with Joyce and Anthony Joshua. I do think it's a big fight. I do think it's a fight that's competitive. And like I said earlier, these are one of these fighters who are undefeated, who have a deep resume. People just aren't talking about him because he's just not flashy enough, man. His style is too fundamentally sound. He's a hardcore boxing type fighter. All big names, you know, and just fundamentals, man. With an A1 chin. You gotta love it, man. You gotta love it. Anyway, man, let me know how you guys feel about it, though. Like, comment, subscribe. This is the Empire. Geobasket Empire. Geobasket Empire.